Friendly
Yes,
Neighborhood
upcoming stuff.
Spider-Man. It feels so weird that we have got a brand new Spider-Man cartoon right round the corner, and it's finally here.
What's wild is like it feels like we've been waiting for this for so
Forever.
long. Like it feels like it first got announced so long ago, and it's obviously changed name slightly. They found whatever style they want. Like
Yeah.
it's taken a while to get put together, but yeah, it's exciting that we're getting some Spider-Man. It hopefully will quench our thirst for Spider-Man till we get Spider-Man 4,
Yeah.
which we know is soon to start. Hopefully we start
Filming, yeah.
filming and stuff. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. We've said it before. The art style is, in our opinions, we think we're down for it. It's definitely different. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad. I'm excited to like see them experiment in that sense.
Absolutely.
And it's
The
another
big
animated
thing,
project, so
exactly. The big thing we've been lacking from Spider-Man in the last 5 years has been like small scale day-to-day Spider-Man doing shit. This is going to hopefully fill that gap a little bit. Obviously, like you said, when it was first announced, it was going to be freshman year. It was going to be a prequel to the MCU Spider-Man story.
Yeah.
And then it got changed. And then we didn't know if it was going to be set in the MCU anymore. And now it's definitely not set in the MCU. We've got a very unique cel-shaded style, which a lot of people aren't too excited for. I personally am of the opinion it looks fine in like the little bits we've seen. I'm really curious to see what an episode looks like. That's the only time you're really going to get a vibe for how you deal with the art. I think in comic book cartoon media, there is so much room to have fun with art styles that I'd rather them try cel shaded and us go, oh, that's a bit disappointing, than just go for the really boring style we had as cartoons for the last 15 years.
Or like play it safe and go with X-Men 97 style. Like they could very easily do that or match like what they've done with What If and stuff. But that's not really pushing this anime. Like it's not
It
tied
seems like
directly
visual
in.
identity is really important to their animated projects.
Yes. And like the fact that it's not tied directly, this isn't Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like they don't have to kind of make it feel like it's connected to that. They can do whatever they want. I'm so down for this because what we've seen is, like you said, this like a cel shaded style, but then they're very much leaning into a comic panel-esque idea of storytelling as well. And like this idea of essentially taking a comic book and animating each of the frames and the panels, like I'm down to see where this goes. I think it could
really, really
turn out
excited.
really good.
With how long it's been cooking away for, I've got a feeling it could be something really special where they're like, we're going to try some funky stuff. We know a lot of characters are going to appear. So we know we're going to get lots of villains and we're going to get cameos, and it's going to be a really alive universe that we're plopped straight into. And I think that gives us the opportunity to really have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about at the end of the day. Like, let's be honest, none of this stuff is like life or death. It's all about, I want to see fun stuff. Spider-Man is as fucking fun as it gets. Spider-Man is the reason 99.9% of people give a fuck about superheroes full stop. Let's be honest.
Yep.
So, it feels wrong that we've not had a new Spider-Man cartoon for so long, or not had an ongoing Spider-Man cartoon for so long. It is only right that we have one, and I'm just excited that we've got to have one again. If it ends up not being my cup of tea, it'll suck, but that is what it is. But I'm excited that we get the opportunity for a new one.
Yeah, they're at least trying. I would very much prefer them to try new things with their animated stuff and try and get away from this, what has become their bog standard MCU style. This is how Marvel does all their superhero content. Like, they need to start branching out from that because that's what comics work. Comics are art, and it's like artists got to experiment with their comic runs of like tweaking their visual style of things. Like, they need to do that in their other media as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Prediction: do we, as everyone loves stuff being like shoehorned in. Do we get the Spider-Man pointing meme in this show? Somehow. Even if it's just like 3 random looking robbers that all look the same or something. Like the visual of the meme, but it could be someone else. Do you think they'd try that?
Maybe. I that's the kind of thing I'd see them waiting for a season 2.
Yeah, maybe.
What I will say is, if this show is successful, this Spider-Man will appear in Beyond the Spider-Verse in some way.
Yeah.
Like, we forget that that's around the corner or however far away it is.
Who knows?
What I will say is, I've sent a couple of TikToks to you. I'm in an arc in my life at the minute where I really want to enjoy art outside of the art I normally enjoy. So I'm making an effort to listen to new kinds of music I haven't listened to. I've got back into reading books. Like, there's a new TikTok page that I know we're both following that shows like artists who are making art now, not just like the famous ones that have been dead for 100 years.
Yeah.
And there's so much cool stuff out there. It's fucking awesome. And it's actually made me feel happier in myself. So I'm like, wow, there are some dope fucking people out there making some dope stuff. And I think that has made me even more staunch in my high horse I've been on for a while of just let creative people do creative shit. Don't get me wrong, I understand it's still a business and there needs to be some guardrails to make sure that it's like sellable, and I get that. But on the flip side, these kind of business people have only ever slowed progression in art. They've never accelerated it. They are a brake. And while I like to ream on the Fast and Furious franchise, a little bit of speed never hurt anyone. So it feels like we're entering a little bit of time now where, especially in the animated medium, we're getting a lot of freedom for artists to try some stuff. So any animated project that I'm even semi-interested in that I see get announced, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
because it's just so exciting.
I really think. Obviously, don't get me wrong. There's been great Pixar films. There's been great Disney animated stuff over the years. And some people might say this is a bit of a hot take, but I think Spider-Verse, that first one, being so different with its art style from what people expected of this like age, to then kind of open the door for these smaller studios that have unique art styles, like we've seen in Love, Death and Robots and stuff. Like, it kind of showed on a big scale to these like big studios, like, oh, people like this stuff. They like when the artists get to kind of go wild with it. We then got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which they got to have fun with that. Like, it has sort of opened the door, and every time there's a new one that's like different or pushing it, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so good.
You've got to reward creativity, even if you go see it because it's just different, and then go, I didn't quite like it, but I appreciate you tried something.
Yeah, exactly.
And while it is like, I do think a big turning point was Spider-Verse, but I think it's easy to pinpoint that as like the moment. There's never one moment, but like the closest to. But I also think like the Western world on a larger scale embracing like anime, open the door a creek. They're like, they like this more like flashy art style. Don't get me wrong, I love Pixar, but I like Pixar doing Pixar style. I don't want every studio to do Pixar style.
I know what you mean.
Just like people love Studio Ghibli. People would get very bored of that style if every animated film was Studio Ghibli style.
Yeah.
Studios need an identity. That's why we both love Vision so much, because we get to see all these studios and all their identities. And that's exactly what we want to see. And like, kind of on the same vein, like we were excited about the Dynamic Duo project. That's going to be some wacky kind of...
looked that up.
Some wacky kind
wild.
of puppeteer and claymation with CGI and motion capture. It's going to be weird. It is. But let's have some fun. Because if that works, it's going to be awesome. And I think that's the way we need to approach new things. Not, that's a bit weird, I'm not sure. It should be, that's a bit weird. If that works, it's going to kick an unbelievable amount of arse.